I came to school for civil engineering, and my intro interview coming into this program was, you've picked an excellent program, you've picked this amazing career, we will have a job lined up for you as soon as you graduate. So, which was super encouraging in fall 2003. 5 years later was the crash of the economy. My graduation exit interview from civil engineering was, I really hope you plan on going to grad school because there's no jobs out there. So when I realized I wasn't going to be getting a civil engineering job, I was like, man, I've been mowing lawns on the side for the past 4 years. Maybe I should actually look and see what it looks like to build this into a business.
We met in high school, me and Cory, and then started dating in 2002. Met at a band camp and then became really good friends, and I kind of kept him in the friend zone for a while, and then we ended up dating and then dating long distance while he was in Nevada for school.
After getting married, Brandy had her job that was very reliable and knew that she'd be able to take care of it, but definitely as a man internally and the head of the household, really felt strong to okay, it's no longer time to coast. Even though you had a tough degree, you had a lot of fun in college, you had some good friends and stuff like that, it's time to start stepping up. So right off the bat there, that's when we, in 2011, became Cory's Lawn Service LLC, which quickly then meant I took on a lot more overhead with insurances and licensing and stuff like that, which meant that it was time to take it serious and actually hire more employees to try and generate a lot more revenue and then expand our marketing. From 2009 to 2012 was kind of that slow growth where the initial portion was okay, where are the trends going with this? What is my competition look like? What does it look like to try and start doing things a little different?
As it grew, he became more and more excited about learning about the business, about growing the business, what it meant to be a business owner, what it meant to care for employees, what it looked like to care for his clients, just building those relationships.
We were starting to grow in momentum and now had about 3 employees. This was still, owner-operator business where I was out in the field most of the time, most of the days, I think maybe one day a week, or if I was gone for a weekend, I'd have the guys go, but just be praying that everything would be okay. This is probably the first sense where Brandy was seeing it, where it'd be staying up crazy late at night, just trying to stay caught up on everything.
I think the things started ramping up, obviously, as our family was growing with a lease and now balancing, okay, we don't only just have a business we're running, but we're trying to figure out how to be parents. I was pregnant and we were up nights and he was working pretty much all the time, and on Saturdays and some Sundays he'd be in between church services playing, he'd be on the computer trying to figure out routes. More demands or complaints, I need to go out at 11 o'clock at night to make sure that this person's water's back on because one of my employees turned it off. There's just always that constant, okay, now this problem, fix it. Okay, now this problem, fix it.
I remember that fall, I think I just had a crazy week, and actually one of the pastors at our church was just asking, he's like, hey, how's the lawn business and stuff going? I'm like, you know what, it's been good, but this was the realization that it was pretty burdensome. I just can't be doing all the work in the field at the same time as it's providing the same customer service that I had been doing as to when we were small.
Is Daddy working all the time? Is he home? He'd normally help the crews get out in the morning and then come back in, have breakfast with me and Elise, or make sure we were good, or let me sleep in a little bit and take Elise for a little bit while he was upstairs working. At a younger age, as she got older, it obviously got a lot harder to do that. So balancing me working as a nurse, having him in the field most of the time, and then on the evenings and weekends, him doing all the office work. Date nights were us staying up super late until 2 or 3 in the morning, billing people every month. Every month it was okay, he'd go get me ice cream and we'd just sit there and plug away in the office or on the couch or upstairs and for hours just to get the bills out. We didn't know what was the right choice of how much time, how could we run this business, because that takes time, and how do we have a family, because that takes time. So what do? We have unhappy clients, we have kids that are at home that I was having a hard time being with and figuring out how to manage and how to love and how to care for, and having a husband that was torn and oftentimes with the business versus me trying to hold down the fort, and it just wasn't working.
Even though we had just some part-time help in the office, started searching out and Googling just different, is there even such thing as a software that will help our business? I had my crews running off of Chrome tablets in the field, still using Excel sheets, like what's going on, what services do we provide, and that kind of stuff, and then putting in notes. And I'm like, there's got to be some cloud-based software that does it, and that's how I found Service Autopilot. And then literally, like when I was looking over it, I was like, I think this is exactly what I need, having no idea that it was so much more than that.
I think the changing point was when he found Service Autopilot. The community and the support of this technology could help transform his business to where he could have intentional time at work, putting up systems that are gonna make it easier on him to allow him to have time at home. And it was scary to jump into that. It was scary to be like, okay, yeah, just start having a monthly fee that we have to start paying for too. It's hard to have, trust into something that you don't really know a ton about, but it seemed like this was the next step we needed to take some of the burden off of his plate.
From 2010 all the way to 2015, we had gone from $55,000 in revenue to $250,000 in revenue. It took us 5 years to get about $200,000 additional revenue. In 2016, when we joined Service Autopilot, we, in 1 year, went from $250,000 in revenue to $380,000 in revenue. The following year, we went from $380,000 to $660,000. The year after that, we went from $660,000 to $830,000, and coming into 2019, we have now gone from $830,000 to a projected of $1.3 million in this past year.
He was so excited when he came back from his first conference. He was so excited to implement things. He felt so built up by the community that was there that had been through trials that he had given him ideas. It takes time to invest to learn how to do it right through Service Autopilot, but just the excitement you could see when he first came home from that conference, and as that led, it wasn't just like a one-time thing, it was a continual support system month by month.
This year is the first year that we've implemented using Mike Callahan's 20 days to close, and by using that, to date we are at 1,800 leads and a 58% conversion rate. Our current client acquisition cost is $14.53 per client that we get.
The last year I feel like has been such a breath of fresh air in the sense that it really has been no Saturdays for Cory. I mean, maybe he's worked one Saturday. They are dedicated family times. He rarely even goes to open the shop. He is home by 5:30. Just each year we just see the burden kind of lessening off of Cory.
To make sure there was a day for Sabbath for our family, to make sure that there was a day where I could put my daughter down to bed on the weekend and she'd be looking at me like, Daddy, how many more days you gotta work? And be like, I got 3 days, and confidently know that I would be home to hang out with the family on Saturday. We have another success just within the business numbers is being able to have 18% profit with giving on average a $1.50 raise to most of our key players within the business. Big thing in our company culture that we wanted to do is just to show people that they are loved here. And so we've done fun things as small as just back in March, we did a March Madness bracket, and there was no buy-in, but I was putting $200 up towards who got the best score in their March Madness bracket. We offer a $300 employee referral program. So if you have somebody that comes here and works here for 90 days, you get an extra $300. Delivering Jimmy John's to employees out in the field, taking orders, delivering Little Caesars out there. If guys were working on their birthday here, then if you work here and it's your birthday week, you get a full extra day pay. Personally for myself, I've just always gone through this huge fluctuation of weight between the winter time and the springtime. So at the start of 2019, my wife and I did a cleanse and started eating a lot healthier. The start of the year, I started at 225 pounds, and I'm currently down to 195. And my ultimate goal for this is to be able to weigh on 1/1/2020 at under 200 pounds. So much of our success of this business has come from the foundation that we have of the whole Service Autopilot, to be able to put the foundation of my business on and know that we can grow it from there.